Well, good morning, everyone. Well, very good morning, everyone. Last day, um, have you practiced up the things what I given you? What I just said you in the last class? Yeah. Today, let me just show you some more few more things here. A few more programs. Let's try to write down. Okay, few more things. Let us try today. Okay. So last day we learned about prime numbers, swapping the numbers, how to perform a swapping of the two numbers, and also I just been explaining how to reverse a number. How to reverse a number. We're just going to reverse a number. So fine, today let's have some few more. Today I want to write the logic for this. What is this here? If I enter a number, say you know that computer will store the values internally in which format? Computer will store the values in it in which format? How the computer stores the values in it? Suppose you enter A, the value is stored in ASCII is the wrong answer. Binary, yes, binary format. It is going to store you in the binary format, ones and zeros. Okay, ones and zeros. So in our school days, our teachers have taught us binaries. Simply telling you a value to base 2. Array, simply telling a binary is nothing but a value to base 2. Okay, a value to base 2. The class has already started now. You're asking when the class will start again. Class started now. Yeah. Okay. So binary means a value to base 2. Am I correct? A value to base 2. So that's what. So binary. So I want to write a program today. Well, you know, if you enter a number, and now only we started here. Now only we started. We just started now only. So what is the requirement? The requirement is if you enter a number, if you enter a number, it has to tell me the binary value of that number. Suppose if I enter 65, suppose if I enter 65, what is the binary value of 65? How do you do a calculation? Base 2. So it's just going to calculate base 2. What is the output? 32. Result is 1. Okay, again, divide by 2. 16, 0. Again, divide by 2. 8, 0. Again, divide by 2. 4, 0. Again, divide by 2. 2, 0. Again, divide by 2. 1, 0. Again, divide by 2. What is it? 0, 1. What is the output here? What is the output? 1. What you put 0, 0 again here? From the down, you require to count it now. 1, afterwards, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 is a binary value. This is the binary value. Am I clear? Okay, so this is what. If you enter a number, it has to tell me the binary value of that particular number. Okay, now tell me, basically, in our you learned mathematics, no? How do you calculate the binary here? Base 2. 65 divided by 2. 65 divided by 2. If you divide 65 by 2, 32. 2s are 64. Remainder is 1. Again, 32 divided by 2. It is divided by 16 times. Remainder is 0. We learned in our school days, no? That is what binary. That is what the binary value, what we are just calculating. Okay? So, now I want to do this calculation programmatically through my code. I want to do this calculation programmatically through my code. Isn't it? In our computers, basically in your C language, you learned about binaries, no? In the C language also, you learned about binaries. Yes or not? In the C language also, we learned about these binaries basically. Now, notice a point. What is that? Suppose, basically, you see, the char size in C language, the char size in C language is 1 byte. 1 byte means 8 bit. 8 bit. 8 bit means what is the max possible value? What's the maximum value we can store in it? 255, yeah. 255. 255 when converted into binary will give you 8 ones. 255 when you convert into binary, it will return you 8 ones. But when you come to the char of C sharp, what is the size of the char in C sharp? Char in C sharp. 2 bytes means 16 bit. How much? 65,535. 65,535 when converted to binary, it will print you. You'll get 16 months. So it depends here. Basically, if you give a number more than 65,535, 16 bit is not sufficient. You're required to go for a bigger sizing, something like 32 bit or 24 bit or something. Okay. So why I'm telling you all these particular things is, listen, I'm going to add a class here. number to binary.cs. Number to binary.cs. What how, sir? Convert 65,535 into binary format, you'll get 16 ones. So I'm writing a class called as number to binary. Static void main. Static void main. Now, same like our yesterday's situation. What's it? I want to prompt the user to enter some number. Console.write enter a number to convert into binary. When you convert 65,535 into binary, you will be getting 16 ones. That is what I said you, not 16 bits converted. If you convert 255 into binary, you will get 8 ones. 8 ones means 8-bit memory, 1 byte memory location. If at all you're just going to be 65,535, it will go for 16 ones. It is going for a 16 ones. 16 ones means 16 bit. What's your question, Sarath Kumar? What is meant by console? Where did you get that console? You're talking about this. This is a class here. This is a class and this is a method. This is a class and this is a method. Console.write. Okay. Now I'm prompting the user for entering a value. Int number is equals to int.pass console.readline. I'm taking the input from the user. The user input is taken. Whatever the number user enters, I don't know. But whatever number he enters, I need to convert this into binary format. Whatever number he enters, I need to convert into binary format. Okay. Suppose you enter 345. If you enter 345, it should be converted to binary now. Now tell me, can I store 345 in a 1 byte memory location? In 8 bits. Can I store 345 in a 8-bit memory location? What is the max possible value in a 8-bit memory location? 255. If I take 16-bit memory location, 65,535. Like this, it increases. Like this, it is going to increase. Okay. See, I am not allocating any memory or anything. Array, to store each character, to store each and everything, we need a bit value. Basically. That's what I just reminded you. That's all. I am not going to do any memory allocation or anything. Watch it what I am doing. I am first declaring one integer array. 16 means the max possible value you can do conversion is 65,535 now. If you want to take a bigger than this value, increase the size here. If I say 8 here, what is the maximum possible value conversion possible? 255. If I say 16 here, 65,535. If you want to go beyond that value also, increase the size at 24, 32. Okay, like this you increase. I'm taking 16, assuming like maximum 65,535. But if you feel like still a bigger value will be present, you increase the size there. Okay, so as of now, I'm writing the code to a max value of 65,535 only. Okay, if you want more than that, just what you do is increase the size of this. That's it. Finish. Now tell me, by default, all the 16 cells will contain zeros in it. Am I right? By default, all the 16 cells will contain zeros in it. Am I right or not? Yes. Okay, remember. Now, I'm going to write a for loop here. To write a for loop, first I'm declaring a integer variable globally. Int I is equals to 0. For I is equals to 0, or simply declare int I enough. Why to declare outside? You can directly write here, no? Generally, we can directly declare a variable in the for loop only, no? Number to binary. We are just going to number to binary, Shankar. How to convert a number to binary format? That is nothing but base 2. Can I declare int I like this? But I wanted to declare it outside. Why, you know? I want this I value outside the for loop also. Can we use a loop variable outside the for loop? Can you use a loop variable outside the for loop? No, you cannot use a, yes sir. Krishna, can you use a loop variable outside the for loop? You can't use it, but I want to use it. Because I want to use, I declared it outside. Did you understand why again for outside declaration now? This is the reason why I went for outside declaration. Okay, next. I is equals to 0. Next, number greater than 0, I plus plus. I'm writing a loop now. I'm writing a loop now. Say, my condition is not related with I. My condition is related with the number you have given there. Are you people clear? My condition is not with I. My condition is with the number what you entered here. Suppose you entered the number as 256. This is 256 greater than 0. The loop will be running for that is what I have taken. Okay. Next. Watch this carefully. ARR of I is equals to number percentile 2. Number percentile 2. Okay. Come on. Help me. I entered 65 as a number. I entered 65 as a number. Just assume the number is 65. If the number is 65, tell me 65 mod 2 is 1. Are you clear? Next. Number is equals to number by 2. Now tell me. This is 1. This is 32. Yes or not? 1 and 32. Okay. Now the loop runs again. The loop runs again. When the loop runs again, now number greater than 0. Yes, number greater than 0. What is the number now? 32. 32 mod 2. 32 mod 2. 0. Here. Here. 16. Next. 16 greater than 0. 0. 8. Next. 0. 4. Next. 0. 2. Sorry. 0. 2. Next. 0. 1. Next. 1. That only know I said you here. That only know here I said you here. I said you here already. See 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, 0. That's all. 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, 0. Here I was telling you on a notepad. Here in the notepad I said you. This is all for our manual calculation, but this is done through my programming code I implemented now. Okay. Now tell me, I should print the output from the first to last or last to first. I should print the output from the first to last to first. Binary always reverse. So your calculation, your count is not from there. Your count is from here. 1 0 0 0 0 0 1. That is the way you should count. Last to first. Yeah, last to first. The count should be last to first. Okay. Now tell me, if I don't write this, now also same only, no? Like this also we can count here. 1, start from here. 1 0 0 0 0 0 1. Same output only. Got it, huh? Same output only. Like this also we can count. But generally, binary calculations, they just do it. Yeah. We need to start count. Now tell me, how many cells did you fill in the array? How many cells did you fill in the array? 7 cells. You filled 7 cells. Perfect. You filled 7 cells. Tell me, but how many cells are present in the array? 16. If I print all the 16 now, is it a confusion or not? So how many cells should I print? That is why I have used the I here. I have used the I here to find out the number of cells that are occupied. So this I will tell you how many cells are occupied now. Did you follow me? I will tell you the number of cells occupied. Just a minute. Just a minute. Watch. Just for understanding, here I did not still print the output. Just simply console.writeLine I and console.readLine. Number is 65. Check it out. Check it out. Number of cells occupied 7. I maintained I for that only. Now tell me, if I give 255, how many cells are occupied? 8, not 16. 8 cells. 8 cells are occupied. 65,535. 16. 65,536. Error. Why error? It is more than 16 here. It is more than 16. Already 16 are filled up here. Array, it is more than 16 and already 16 are filled up here. This only I said you, if at all you want a calculation for a bigger value, increase the array size. That's what I said you. Are you getting me? Increase the array size. Suppose if I take 24, can I give 65,536? See that, 17. That is going to be 17 cells. So that's what tomorrow you decide yourself what should be, what will be the upper bound. Based on the upper bound, this array size should be declared. Based on the upper bound, the array size should be declared here. Okay. I have taken 16. No problem. You take 32, you take 100, whatever you want, you take it. No problem. Okay. But this, I will tell you how many cells are occupied. Are you clearer or not? Tell me, are you clearer or not? Now tell me, should I print the values from 1 to 7 or 7 to 1? Should I print the values from 1 to 7 or 7 to 1? 7 to 1. Means my loop should be a reverse loop, right? My loop should be a reverse loop, right? Come on, help me in writing the code. Watch it there. console dot write the binary value of the given number. Binary value of the given number is okay. I want to print the value. Come on, I'm writing the loop. Help me writing a reverse loop for. I'm using the same IC. I is equals to okay. This 7 means you want to print how many cells? Array 7 are occupied here. Means from where to where you should print? 6 to 0. Imran Sheikh, understand? 6 to 0. Surya, perfect. 6 to 0. So now I should start from 7 or I should start from 6 or. So shall I write I minus 1? Clear? Start from there. And now you want to run this code. Until I greater than or equal to 0. Yeah, the condition is greater than or equal to 0. Next, I minus. It's a reverse loop, what you're writing. Is it clear? It is a reverse loop, what you're writing. Console dot write. Write what? ARR of I. ARR of I. I'm printing from where to where? 6 to 0. If it is 7. If it is 8. If I is 8. 7 to 0. If I is 16. 15 to 0. Clear? If I is 7. I will print 6 to 0. If I is 16, I will print 15 to 0. Okay? So that. 65. Check it out. Got the output? $255. 8 ones. 65, 535. 16 ones. Second loop I value is the number of times the first loop executed. Second loop I value is the number of times the first loop executed. The same I value is what I'm using here. If this loop runs for 7 times, I starts with 6 now. If this loop runs for 12 times, I starts with 11. If this loop runs 16 times, I starts with 15. That's what I said you. Am I using the same I in both the two places or two different I's? Come on, tell me. Am I using the same I in both these two places or two different I's? Same I. Debug your code here. Debug your code. Place a breakpoint. Okay. Run the code. Entering 65. See now, an array is declared with 16 cells. By default, all the 16 cells have zeros. Watch. See, 0 to 15, all are having zeros in that now. Okay. Next, I is equals to 0. Number greater than 0. Yeah, number is 65 greater than 0. I plus plus, sorry, comes here. ARR of I. ARR of I means the first cell. Number mod 2. Number is 65 mod 2. So what is the value? 1 will come. See the array now? The array first cell is occupied with 1C. The array first cell is occupied with 1 now. Okay? So basically now, what is number now? Number is 32 now. Loop runs for the second time. Assigns the second value. Third time, third value. What will come? Here I typed you already all the things. See, the loop is running for how many times? Count. You can count. You can count here. Yeah, the loop is running for how many times? You can count here. 7 times. So doing all the calculations. So I is finding the number of times the loop executed. I is finding the number of times the loop executed. See the I value? I value is 7. But I don't want 1 to 7. I want 6 to 0. I value is 7, not 6, Momata. I value is 7. So we want from, I want from 6 to 0. That's way coming here. I started my loop. I is equals to I minus 1. Initialization is 6 now. Initialization is 6. And I want to execute up to 0. Greater than or equal to 0. Printing the values from the reverse order. 7 times the loop runs and prints you all the 7 values. So whatever number you just enter here, suppose I'm entering the number as array length is 16 here. Why you want to print all the 16? All the 16 should not be printed. Understand, you declared an array with a size of 16 cells. Will you print all the 16? Huh? Basha. Your array is declared with 16 cells like this. Why array size is not declared? Declared, no? Declared, see, array size is declared. Array size is 16. Array size is declared here, see, Basha, 16. Now, initially, all cells are having a value 0. Where you want to use the array size, tell me first. Where you want to use the array size when you are printing the values, huh? Answer me first. Where you want to use the array size when I'm printing the values, huh? If you don't answer, what should I answer you? What did I ask you and what are you answering? What is my question? When should I use the array size for printing the values, huh? Ravi, you know list of int. Everyone doesn't know list of int. Everyone doesn't know list CR. You are asking to tell me list now. You completed your course. You know what is a collection. You know list. Most of the people don't know what is a list now. I cannot explain you what is a list there. Yes, yeah, declared. No, watch it. Int ARR is equals to new int of 16. Declared. I declared integer only here. See, I need to tell the code understandable to all. Okay, so I cannot just take someone who don't know lists and talk about a list in the class. I can't say that. Basha, your question is not still clear. I declared an array with my size now. Can you declare an array without a size? Can you declare an array without a size? Basha, answer my question. Can you declare an array without a size? See that error. Array creation must have array size. Array creation must have array size or array initializer. What is array initializer? Array initializer means opening the curly braces and assigning the values. That is called as array initializer. Okay. See, someone asked about a list. Someone asked this question about a list. If you people are aware of a list, if your people are aware of a list, I recommend you go with a list. All the people who are aware of the list, go with a list. Okay? Who are not aware of the lists and all, this is the traditional coding, and this is about the traditional way how you just do it. Is everyone clear? What is the dynamically print the value? What is the dynamically print? I don't know what is that. What do you mean to say dynamically print the value? You cannot print an array value directly. Array doesn't have dynamic size here. Array doesn't have dynamic size. Array doesn't have dynamic size here. Once again, show the manually, sir. What manually? What should I show? What should I show, Patel? Manually means this is the code. You want to see debugging? Watch it. I'm entering 65. Patel, watch it. I'm entering 65. The value 65 comes into number. The value 65 comes into number. Okay. Now the loop starts. Now the loop starts. When the loop starts the execution, I value 0, number is 65 is the condition. Okay. So I is 0, number greater than 0, condition true, comes inside. When it comes inside, when this comes inside, what is happening? Number 65 mod 2. 65 mod 2. 65 mod 2. What is the result, Shabir Patel? The other who understood, don't answer, please. The others who understood, don't answer, please. Patel, wrong answer. 65 mod 2, not by 2. It's a modulus, not a division. Tell me the answer. 65 mod 2. Array, when you divide 65 by 2, what is the remainder, yaar? One. One is stored in the first cell. 1 is stored in the first cell. So this is the first cell. And inside of the first cell, it will store the value. It will store the value 1. It will store the value 1 now. Okay. Next. What is the next line? The next line is 65 by 2. Everything I typed here, see what result will get. I typed here, watch, concentrate. 65 by 2. 65 by 2 is 32. Okay. Now the loop runs again. 32 greater than 0. 32 greater than 0. Sorry, the loop runs again. I plus plus. I becomes 1. Now checks the condition. I becomes 1. Okay. Checks the condition. And if you check the condition here, 32 greater than 0 comes again. 32 by 2. Patel. 32 by 2, 0. Next, 32 mod 2, 0. 32 by 2, 16. So what is the result? 8 now. Again, I becomes 2 now. I becomes 2 now. And the number is 8. The number is 8. Again, 8 mod 2, 0. I'm sorry, 16. I'm sorry, 16. 16. So the number is 16. 16 mod 2. 16 mod 2 is 0. Result is 8. This result is 8. Again, 8 mod 2, 0. Next, 4. 4 mod 2, 0. Result is 2. Is that clear? That is what you are filling. So what are you filling? Basically, if you just understand, just a minute, I'll open this one. You have taken 16 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 came. All of you, notice it. Your array is 16 now. Watch it. 16 cells totally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All the 16 contain zeros. But in the process of execution of the loop, this became 1. Second one is this cell is 1. This is 0 only, 0 only, 0 only, 0, 0. And this is again 1. Now tell me, I consumed 16 cells. I have just consumed only 7 cells. I consumed 7 only now. So I should print that 7 only. I should not print 16 now. I should print that 7 only. I should not print 16. If I print 16, all zeros will come up now. This 7 only. And that 7 is what I maintained through I. That is what I maintained through I here. So I value is going to be counting you the number of times the execution has taken place. So that particular 7 will tell you that. And that is what I used in my next for loop to print the bit values. So I'm printing from reverse, from here to here, because binary is always the reverse how you print it. That's what we learned in the school days mathematics. Is that clear, everyone, now? Next. The next thing I'm just going to show you is, the next thing I just wanted to show you is Fibonacci series. We'll look into Fibonacci series. Remember Fibonacci series? What's the Fibonacci series? What is Fibonacci series? Yeah, what is Fibonacci series? That is the question. Result is the addition of all previous numbers. Are wrong here. Yeah, sum of the two preceding numbers. Previous numbers, not preceding, previous. Sum of the two previous numbers, not preceding. Okay, 0, 1. Okay, now tell me the series, continue the series now. First number 0, second number 1. Continue the series. 1. Next. 2. Next. 3. Next. 5. Next. 8. Next. 13. 21. 21. Next. 34. 55. 89. This is what we call as a Fibonacci series. The result of the new number is the sum of the previous two numbers. So say 1. The previous two numbers 0, 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. Next, 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 5, 8. 5 plus 8, 13. That is what we call as a Fibonacci series. Okay. Now, here the question arises. So in the interview, you are asked the question, write a program to print the Fibonacci series. I'll print the Fibonacci series, but how many values you are expecting? Did you understand my question? I will print the Fibonacci series, that is fine. But how many values are you expecting now? So that should be said now, no? So basically when I run the program, the question should arise there. What is that? Enter the number of elements in the series. Enter the number of elements in the series. If the user wants 10, as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to here enough. If the user says I want 15, means 12 are there, still another 3 should come. Another 3 should come. Another 3. 55 plus 89. 144. Perfect. 144. Next. Plus 89. 233. Next. 3. 77. 15 series. If you want up to 15, that's it. Suppose they ask you 20, yeah, you will keep on entering. So that's way To print this, first I need to ask my client, ask my user, enter the number of elements you want now. You want 15, you want 20, you want 30, tell me, I'll print you. Okay, so that's what exactly is my requirement is going to be. Okay, fine, let's do it. Let's write a program to print up the Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series. First, let us take a boundary from the user. Okay, console.write, console.write. Enter a number of, enter the number of elements, for Fibonacci series. Number of elements per series. Fibonacci series. Enter the number of elements for Fibonacci series. Okay. Now let's read the number. How to read the number? Int number is equals to int.parse console.read. Okay. So whatever upper bound the user enters, that should be the limit now. And that is the condition for my for loop. That is the condition for my for loop. Okay, so fine. Just now I explained you what is a Fibonacci series, and now you suddenly come and ask me what is a Fibonacci series. Just now only I explained you what is a Fibonacci series. The third number will be the sum of the previous two numbers. Then every number will be the sum of the previous two numbers. That is what we call as a Fibonacci series. See here, 1. 1 is the sum of 0 and 1. 2 is the sum of 1 and 1. 3 is the sum of 1 and 2. 5 is the sum of 2 and 3. The next number is the sum of the previous two numbers. 3 plus 5, 8. That is what we call as a Fibonacci. Okay, fine. Now I just wanted to write the code. Okay, just watch it. Int num1 is equals to, is in a Fibonacci series, first number, second number are fixed down. First number, second number are fixed or not? What is the first number? Second number? 1. Perfect. Is equals to 0. Num2 is equals to 1. Okay. And one more variable, num3. I am declaring 3 variables here. Num1, num2, num3. Okay. Now, first I am writing console.write. What's this code? Num1 plus space plus num2. I asked you this question first. 0 and 1 are fixed. First and second numbers are fixed now. I am printing the two numbers now. First and second number are fixed now. I am printing the two numbers now. Okay, just a second. Console.readline. Console.readline. I did not write the logic. Just a second. Sorry. Wrong code. Suppose if I enter 15 here, See there, 0, 1 are printed. 0 and 1 are printed. Okay. Anushri, you're from which C# batch? Anushri, you're from C# which batch? You completed your C#, or are you starting C#? Or you, what is? Anushri, respond here. In which batch? In which batch? I'm not asking about ASP batch. I'm asking about C#. Tell me your batch timing, Anushri. You said startup object now? You know startup object now? That only I'm doing. I'm setting my startup object only. This is another way to set my startup object. That's all. Nothing but I'm setting my startup object here. That's all. I'm using a core project, and this is another style of doing in a core project. So same thing here. Startup object, how do you set that only? But I'm using not a framework project. I used a .NET Core project. In a core project, that's a different style of setting a startup object. Okay, fine. Now, see, when I run this, it will prompt me how many numbers, how many you want in the series, 15. And 0 and 1 are printed, remaining 13 should be printed. 0 and 1 are printed, remaining 13 should be printed. Am I right? So loop should run from think correctly. Already 2 you printed, and again you're telling 0 to 14. 2 to 14, right? Not 0 to 14. 2 to 14. Already 2 values are printed up there, no? Then why you want 0 to 14? You want from 2 to 14 now. Okay? Come on. For int I is equals to 2. I less than number. I plus plus. What is number? What is the value of number? 15. We have just imagined, that's all. 15. Less than number means until 14 means 2 to 14. 2 to 14 means 13 times. We are running the loop for 13 times. Is that clear? Okay. Now it has to print me the values. Tell me, what is the third number? What is the third number? The third number is the sum of first number and second number. That is the answer you should give. The third number is the sum of the first number and the second number. Yeah, perfect. num3 is equals to num1 plus num2. Are you clear? Tell me. Num3 is equals to num1 plus num2. Next, console.write num3 plus space. Sorry, plus space. And if I don't use space there, all the numbers will be printed up side by side. We don't understand. That's why we are just going to use this. There is no limit for the number of programs in a project. There is no limit for the number of programs in a project. Okay, fine. Now all of you concentrate on this. So now understand this one. What num1 contains? 0. What num2 contains? 1. What num3 contains? 1. Are you clear? Now I want to do a shifting now. I want to do a shift. What shifting you want to do? Just a minute. Num1 is 0. Num2 is 1. And the num3 is also 1. Now I want to shift. What do you want to shift? I wanted to shift the num2 value to num1 and the num3 value to num2. Did you get my point? I wanted to shift. So this is what you have here. I wanted to shift now. What do you wanted to shift now? I want to shift num2 value to num1. What shall I write? Wrong, Srikanth. I want to shift num2 value to num1, I'm telling you. So num1 is equals to num2. Num1 is equals to num2. What is the value? What is the value? 1. The value is 1. Next, num3 value to num2. Num3 value to num2. What shall I write? Num2 is equals to num3. What is the value? 1. Are you clear? Now, num3 is equals to num1 plus num2. Tell me what the value? 2. Now see, when the loop keeps on executing this when the loop keeps on executing, come on, answer me. What is num1 now? 1 only. What is num2 now? 2. What is num3 now? 3. Come on, next. 2, 3, 5. Sorry, 5. Next. 3, 5, 8. This is what happens here when the loop executes. So here, watch it. What am I writing here? See, num1 is equals to num2, and I'm sorry, num2 is equals to num3. Now the loop keeps on executing. When the loop keeps on executing, this is how the code gets executed now. And this code gets executed and prints you the result. I'm entering 15. Watch. Printed, see. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I want 20. Whatever is your choice here. Print it. 20. 30. Are you clear? Everyone, understood? It is a simple math. The loop will run, and every time this calculation will go forward. That's all. Every time this calculation will go forward. Next time, this will become 5. This will become 8. This will become 13. Next step. Next step. This is 8. This is 13. This is 20. It's the same process every time that will be repeating for you within the loop. Okay, that's what how we are just going to print the things now. This is about the Fibonacci series. Next, do you know the next thing what I'm showing is? I hope everyone is clear. The next thing we'll see now. I want entire number means entered number is in the Fibonacci or not. You want to find out the entered number is in the Fibonacci or not. Not entire number, entered number. Am I right? You can do it here, but very complicated. Why very complicated? Because what number are you going to give? Understand the problem here. What number are you going to give? Here I'm entering 30. This is C sharp only here. This is C sharp only. You entered 30. 514229. Suppose tomorrow you are entering a number like 20,000. Up to what I need to take that upper boundary? That's a very complicated process. That's a very, very complicated process. No limit, yeah, that is only the problem. No limit. There is no limit. But I don't say we can do, we can. We can do, okay? But we just require to write a very complex logic for the appropriate thing. One question in interview, he said print up to 15, but after 15 only next number print and stop. I did not understand. You are telling print up to 15, but after printing only next number print and stop. What is that? Imran Sheikh did not understand your question. Suppose 15 is 370, then 610 and stop. Means you don't want to print all this. Am I right? You don't want to print all this. Tell me, yeah. Now also it stopped now after printing up to here it stopped. You want to print only this value, huh? Up to 16, up to 15 I print, up to 30 I printed. See again 16. Stop. Stop now. Whatever you enter, it will print up to there and stop. Okay. Someone asked a question, why 15, why 14, why not 14? Array, not 14 times here, 15 only. Count it. Now I got 16. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it is just going to print you up to 16 series only. It is going to print you up to 16 only now. But loop starts from 0, no? If you enter 0, it should take 0 to 15. Are you clear, Danjit? loop will start from 0. So that's why I've taken less than. Okay. So fine. Next. The next thing is, I want to find out a number is a palindrome or not. I want to find out a number is a palindrome or not. What is a palindrome? What is a palindrome? A number is equals to reverse number. The number is same. The reverse of the number is the same. Yeah, this is what you call a palindrome. Okay, I want to find out. Anywhere you can do, yeah. Anywhere you can do. Anywhere you can do, you can do. I am talking about C#. Why you are bothered about a framework and all this nonsense? That's none of your business. It is a framework, core, none of your business. C# is same for everything. Is it not? How did you write your loops and all in a framework? Tell me, Shankar. Is it not? How did you write your loops and all? Don't bother about it, because we are teaching core. I just opened a core project. You open a framework project and do no issue at all. All these programs you write in Notepad and use it. Same code, same output will come. Write the code in a Notepad and compile and do. Same output will come. No worries about it. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to find out whether the given number is a palindrome or not. Yeah, do it here. Wherever you want, do it. No issue. C# is same everywhere. Yeah. C# is same everywhere. C# doesn't have core and framework. Remember that point. It is C#, that's all. Not C#.NET framework or C#.NET core. It is just C#. C# is same for .NET core. C# is same for .NET framework. Don't bother about it. I'm telling you, still a best option now. Open a Notepad and write the code and execute. It will execute for you. Palindrome number. I'm writing a class here. Palindrome number. Do you people remember yesterday I've written the logic for reversing a number? Yesterday I explained you logic for reversing a number. Do you remember? Yes or not? Tell me, for a palindrome logic, can't I use the same logic what I said explained you yesterday? Reverse a number here. After reversing a number, compare it with the original number. Finish. Simple code, no? It's just no point of wasting the time. Very simple logic. Okay, come on. Console.write. Enter a number. Enter a number. I'm asking you to enter a number. Int number is equals to int dot parse console dot read line. Okay. Now finally, I want to do some calculations on the number. If I do some calculations on the number, I will lose the original number. I want to do some manipulations on this variable. If I do some manipulations on the variable, finally I will lose the original number. Am I correct? So I want the original number in the last. So that's why I'm going to declare a variable here. Int old number is equals to number. I'm storing that in a variable, some variable. The variable name is old number is equals to. Finally, this old number has to be compared with the result. Okay, that is what. Now, come on. How to write the logic? How you are going to write your particular logic? While number greater than 0, okay, I am declaring a variable here called as reminder. Yesterday I explained you this logic to you. Reminder is equals to what? number mod 10. Reminder is equals to number mod 10. Next line. One more variable to be declared here. You need one more variable. Sum is equals to 0. What is it? Sum is equals to sum into 10 plus reminder. Next, number is equals to number by 10. Now tell me, number contains what? Finally, number contains what? Wrong answer. No, yeah. Number contains 0. Sum contains the value. Sum contains the result. Number has 0. Number contains 0. Who contains the result? Reverse contains. Yesterday, this is the same logic you have written here. Check it out. Reverse number. I just changed the variable name and you got confused yourself. That's all. I only changed the variable name here and you got confused yourself. It's the same logic only we have written. Not equal to 0, greater than 0, whatever it is. Both are same only. Here also if you want, I'll say not equal to 0. Is it clear? So this is the reverse number code. This is the same logic executing now also. Now tell me what reverse contains? What reverse contains? Reverse contains the result. Reverse contains the result. Now tell me, can I write a code here? If old number is equals to reverse. Tell me if old number is equals to reverse. Console dot write line given number is a palindrome. Else. Given number is not a palindrome. One, 4, 7. Palindrome or not palindrome? Given number is not a palindrome. Given number is not a palindrome. 18981. Palindrome. Is it clear? It's a palindrome. Like this, we can just identify whether the given number is a palindrome. Simple logic here. I did not write anything newly. Yesterday, I already explained you logic for reverse of a number. I have written the same logic. Finally, I written the same logic. And finally, I compared with the number what you entered. If both are equal, there is a palindrome. Otherwise, it is not a palindrome. Can you write a simple program to find out a factorial of a number? Can you write a simple program to print the factorial of a number? Whatever number is entered, it has to print me the factorial of that number. Factorial logic is very simple code here. static void main. Anyone can write up this code. Console.write. Console.write. Enter a number. Enter a number to find its factorial. Enter a number to find its factorial. Int number is equals to int dot parse console dot return. Int number is equals to int dot parse console dot return. How do you write? For int I is equals to 1. I less than or equal to number I plus plus. I is equals to 1. I less than or equal to number I plus plus. To capture the result, I am going to declare a variable. Call it int fact is equals to. Should I initialize with a value? 1. Be careful. If you take 0, final result will be 0. Because we are not doing addition, we are doing multiplication. Be careful. So fact is equals to fact into I. Finish. That's all here. Simple logic. Simple logic. Console dot write line factorial of given number is plus fact. Or otherwise I'll name this as result. Result. Sorry. Factorial. If I give 1, what is the factorial of 1? 1. If I give 0, factorial of 0 is 1 only. Is that clear? Factorial of 0 is also 1 only. If I give 2, 2, 3, 6. Is that clear? So if you are told, see, generally if you want to restrict negative values, simply take u integer, unsigned integer. Take a u integer. If you take a u integer, now there is no chance for a negative numbers. All the numbers will be positive integers. Starting from 0 only they will take. Do people understand the logic? Okay, well, let me stop it here. Actually, I did not do this here. I thought of creating a Google Classroom. Yesterday I was a little bit busy. I did not create. I will create it today. And post all the code here. I'll tell you the ID tomorrow. I will create it today, post the code there, and I will tell you the ID tomorrow. Okay, let's stop it here. We will meet tomorrow.